And we back once again. It's your boys, no jobbers allowed, and we are back at you with another podcast. This time we're going to talk all things WrestleMania, Raw after WrestleMania, and SmackDown Live after WrestleMania. We're going to sprinkle in some of our takeaways from the big show, the granddaddy of them all, a few rumors from the weekend, and a few notable things that happened on both shows this week. And like always, I'm your boy Big Ish, and with me, like always, is
man, it's your guy Irwin. Man, like I said, this is our World Series, the wrestling fans' NBA Finals, our Super Bowl. It's the WrestleMania, and overall it was a long show, man. It was a lot to watch, but I think a lot of the quality was really, really good, man. Dude, I can only think that a match that I really, really disliked, and you can chime in on this if you feel the same way or not. Dude, the women's title match was the tag team title match, excuse me. That's the only one that I didn't really care for. Everything else I found enjoyment in.
I didn't like the ending to it. Like, I thought the work was pretty good. And I know we'll get into rumors right off the bat then. Nia tore ACL, I believe.
Both of them, and both
ACLs.
That's what I heard.
So she might be out. She's going to be out extended time. I remember when Seth had this happen to him. He was out 5 months, maybe 6.
So I know projected for most just ACL tears, like a regular one. I know it's depending upon if it's in the meniscus and all that other stuff. It's usually around 9 months.
9.
Some people return quicker. Some people return quicker, so we could say 6 to 9 months, and you tear both of them. She's gone for a while.
So, but yeah, for me in that match, that was really the only thing that was messed up was how it ended. Like I don't mind Iconics winning, and like shout out to Sasha and Bailey. I understand why they're mad. But I didn't mind the win, just how it was done, because you made your inaugural tag team champions look weak. Therefore, you made the title change look weak. You made the belts themselves look weak.
You do weaken the belt. Like, I really feel like, and I understand where they're coming from. They should have had a longer run. I'm with that. I don't mind the Iconics winning. But my thing is, and we can get into the whole Sasha Banks rumors. You heard about that?
She played. Well, what we hear from Wrestling Observer newsletter and things like that is that she really was hot about that because it was a last minute change. Because according to all these rumors, like Sasha and Bailey was supposed to retain.
Yeah.
And then they changed it the day of, and not just the day of, but like really close to the match. Well, not match, but the start of the show. And that leads us into the second thing was the Universal Championship match started the show. And once again, from what I heard, that was also a last minute change. While the show was going already, they changed that because I guess Brock, according to sources, like if you listen to Wrestle Talk, read Wrestling Observer, Cage Side Seats, they all seem to say Brock ran up on Vince and the other producers and other people was like, hey man, if I ain't going on last, then what we doing, dog? And I'm like, dog, you knew this for months.
He knew it.
The plan was.
Dude, Brock's an asshole. Let me say that first and foremost. Brock is a fucking asshole, man. I don't understand why. I understand what Vince sees in him. He's a box office attraction. He's a mainstream attraction. His matches, if he wants to put the work in, they're good. But dude, man, they need to let this dude just fucking go now. Like, man, this is coming from me, a Brock Lesnar fan, someone who pops for him, someone who marks out for him. I'm glad they got the title off of him. I'm glad the title is on Seth right now because we'll get to see it every week. But, dude, this guy, I don't understand it, man.
I'm glad they did move it to the beginning, because I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
If you put that after the Kofi match, I don't give a damn about it.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
it was already too much wrestling up until that point, and I say that because this could have been condensed. Some of these matches weren't, in my opinion, WrestleMania worthy.
I agree. But
At least for a main show,
that Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, though,
could have been a main
masterful.
event.
But I'm not going to sell the women short. I do
No,
think
that's what
Kofi.
I'm saying. It could have been a main
Yeah,
event. If you
it really
didn't
could have.
already have this historic main event,
It would have. It definitely
Kofi
could have been.
Mania would have closed out WrestleMania.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a slow build. It built up. It had high flying. It had psychology. It had run ins. It had everything that you could possibly want. It had the build up. It had my suspense, man. I really, really liked it. And shout out to Kofi and Daniel Bryan, man. That was a damn good match, man.
So let me tell you about Milo, and that was Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. Now, once again, Kurt did what you're supposed to do as an
Yep.
old guy leaving. He put over a young talent. Hey, man, more power to you. I just did not like the match.
It
Great
wasn't good,
workers, but I didn't enjoy it.
dude.
And maybe that was wrestling like fatigue at that point, because that was hour what 8 5.
It was far. It was
It
deep in the
was
show. I don't
like
remember, but
7 something like that after watching WrestleMania literally all day. Like
yeah,
that was
that to me shouldn't have gone down like that. I'm glad they kind of rectified that a little bit on Raw, but then he put somebody else over because he's leaving. But for me, Kurt Angle should have never came back to wrestle. When you look at the dude, like, it's even more apparent when they show his, throwbacks, like, from 2001 or even 2006 when he was at peak performance, where the guy can barely walk right now. And the sad part is the dude is only 50 years old or 51 or whatever. But then you look in contrast, like, look at Triple H and Batista of the same age. Like, they were still moving. They were still fluid. Everything that they were doing was still entertaining. Watching Kurt Angle is like watching, and maybe it's because I'm such a Kurt Angle fan, and he was, he's in my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. But it's like watching Michael Jordan when he was on the Wizards. It's sad. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Dude, but hey, I don't know if you want to transition to this, but another high for me was when we got Thugonomics John Cena, man.
Dog, and I don't really like John Cena, but that's the only John Cena I like, because that's kind of the John Cena I remember the most. Ruthless aggression with the little tight trunks that smack Kurt Angle, John Cena. I don't really remember that much, because they changed. If I'm correct, they changed that character like really quick.
Super quick.
So, like, the Thugonomics John Cena, remember, this guy has a platinum rap album. That's the John Cena I remember and like the most. So, and anytime anybody interrupt Elias, I'm all for.
Dude, so that was that's, again, like we were talking, that's a perfect nostalgia piece right there. And the sad part is, like, dude, John Cena, Thugonomics John Cena, I had to be maybe in my late teens at this point. And the fact that seems so long ago to me is getting really sad. Like,
yeah, we getting old, bro. That's what happens.
Getting old, man. But that's really, really cool that this new generation can see that. And everybody was freaking out and going crazy, and a little bit of nostalgia. And it actually makes me like John Cena even more. Huge pop. Probably one of the biggest pops of the night. Most useless character of WrestleMania, though, was Alexa Bliss, man. I don't know what they're trying to do with her, or what's their appeal. Is she trying to be a wrestler? Is she supposed to be sex appeal? Like, is she supposed to be funny? Like,
what she was doing as host, she didn't really do much. Like, she didn't even really bridge the segments between each other. Like, all she did was bring out Hulk Hogan, which I could have done without.
Yeah, we can skip over that part, man. We can skip over that Hulk Hogan part.
Like, I don't really have much more to go into from.
Well, let me get your take on this. We'll go about a minute over on this one, but What did you think about the ending to the main event?
The botch.
The botch.
I ain't gonna lie to you or the listeners. I fell asleep after what was it? What came before that match? Was that? But no, that was Finn Balor versus
Yep.
Bobby.
Yep.
I fell asleep literally right after that match. I woke back up to the finish. So I only thing I caught was the botch finish, which everyone's trying to blame Ronda for that. And I'm like, no, Becky's the one who had her legs up under the arm for the crucifix.
It's Becky's fault.
And that's all I want to say is, like, people are literally shitting on Ronda for that bad finish, and that's not the case. And I love Becky Lynch, or I like her. Like, I think she's golden. She deserves everything she got right now. She's deserved to be Becky 2 belts. But for the people who saying that's Ronda's fault for the botch finish, is they're out of line. And rumor has it that Vince like fined the referee for counting the finish, even though it was clear Ronda's shoulder wasn't down.
Yeah, I agree, man. Botch finish. I mean, the only thing it does is it sets up the possibility for a storyline later. Like, wow, you never really beat me. My shoulders were up. Whenever she wants to come back and do whatever she needs to do. So that's the only good thing about it.
Yeah, just the problem is I hear Ronda's contract is still under until April 20.
Mm-hmm.
So she still has time to come back. But I heard this was everyone ginned this up as this was supposed to be her last real spotlight moment until because she wanted to, start a family with her and her husband, and do her thing. So
yeah, good for her, man. That's what I hear too.
So that's why I didn't like how this ended, because it wasn't really a solid ending that was concrete. But like you said, if she ever does come back, it does lend a credible defense of her getting back to the top of the women's division, because she really wasn't defeated properly.
Yeah, man, and that's WrestleMania, man. I give it a what grade would you give WrestleMania personally?
Oh man, if I didn't fall asleep, I would give it. Well, I mean, I didn't fall asleep because something was boring. I just fell asleep because it was
so long.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I'll give high marks for it. I'll give it an A.
I'm giving it a solid A, man. We got to see along what we couldn't talk about. We got to see, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, snap their losing streak. We got to see Finn Balor again go over Bobby Lashley, which shouldn't have happened. We got to see The Miz and Shane have a barn burner of a match. Yeah, I give it an A, man. It was a very enjoyable WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, A. So now let's get on to Raw after Mania. So let's go ahead and kick off the show with that. And let's start with the first segment, bro. What you talking about?
Dude, man. Well, that's when they had they end up having Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston both on Raw. And then we are at the end of the night, we're gonna have a winner take all match, which I knew that shit wasn't gonna happen. I think all of us knew. Yeah, they weren't going to use.
I was like, how you gonna make Kofi? Because we knew it wasn't gonna be Kofi.
Yeah, we knew it. It had to be Rollins. Like, I knew they were going to take the strap off.
It's no way y'all gonna build this Kofi up this high just to cut him off at the knees the day after. People would have rioted. You would saw literal riots because you built Kofi up, finally got his championship, and then you take it away the next day. Nah. I wouldn't have been happy about that.
No, we knew that shit wasn't going to happen. So, what else happened on Raw that was really high? We got to see Kurt Angle actually get his comeuppance a little bit on Baron Corbin. But then he gets dominated by a returning Lars Sullivan, man. What do you think about that?
Lars been out for a minute, dog, and I was wondering like where he been, but rumor was he needed to take some time off, get his mental health together, and now he's back. I hear he had maybe an anxiety or some sort of attack like that, and just needed to take time off and get himself together, which I am always for.
Definitely.
Anybody, no, not even celebrities or anybody.
Yeah, let's pause and say
help.
that too. Let's coast, like, this is very, very serious. Anybody that's dealing with mental health, anything like that, man, that is an honest to God disease. No matter what anybody in society tells you, do what you got to do. Reach out to who you got to reach out to get help for what you're going through.
Get yourself together. Yeah. Everything else can be secondary.
Please do, because that's really, really huge, man. I've seen that take some people and really take some good people away from us. So we want everybody around. We want everybody to take care of themselves. So shout out to everybody dealing with anything mental health. Take care of yourself. We appreciate you and we love you.
So with that, though, I've been high on Lars since NXT. And I was always ready for Lars. That's why I was wondering, where did he disappear to during the first set of call-ups. So, man, he looked very good. Kurt did a great job of putting this guy over as a dominant new heel figure. And I can't wait to see what's in store for him. So that's what I thought about that. My spot of the night is finally...
Yes.
Lacey Evans got to do something and came out during a Becky Two Belts promo. She says that so swaggerless. Like, Becky says that so Becky Two Belts. Like, I can't.
It's weird because everything else she says, she has like this kind of like Irish, like Conor McGregor type, like I guess I could use your word, swag to it. Like, it sounds cool. Like when she's like, "I'll slap the head off your blokes," or whatever it is. Like, that sounds like it's tough and it's funny. But when she says,
I feel like she didn't organically think about that. Like Champ, when she called herself Champ, that's like organic, feels good, sounds good coming out. But someone else said Becky Two Belts, and she started running with it, and it just doesn't sound right. But when she called herself the Champ, I fucks with that.
Hey, but she stole the Champ from Conor McGregor, though.
Yeah.
Because that's what Conor McGregor called himself. I'm the Champ.
But yeah, she sounds... but she sounds good saying that. I don't know. She just sounds mad swaggerless saying Becky Two Belts. Like, and it could sound dope, but she just swaggerless when she say that. But everything
Lacey Evans, man,
I'm ready for her. I am ready.
That's such a good character, and it's like a lot of the women, and that's the problem with me with the women's revolution right now. It's a lot of the women are just bland and plain and characterless. It's like a whole bunch of oh man, I can't even think of who's the most characterless person on the roster right now. Shit.
Somebody from the Ascension, probably.
Shit. It's like a whole bunch of Ascensions running around. Like, it's just, you got your Dana Brooks running around, who cut a terrible promo on this Raw. You've got your, everybody else who just doesn't have like a character. It's like, I'm a woman and I'm a wrestler, but like Lacey Evans has the whole, military background, that kind of like a Southern belle.
The sassy Southern belle. Like,
there you go. And it's so perfect.
When you find a persona that isn't a far cry from who you are, like it shows through. You will always shine. And I really believe that Lacey Evans, like, at least some part of her persona is probably her.
Dude, that definitely has to be her, man. Because she's so good with it. We finally get to see her get into a little brawl with Becky for a little bit, which, I don't necessarily think that her first feud should be with the champ, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
You know what it is. It's Vince McMahon. Everyone's mad. He needed a new tall blonde. He can't keep using Charlotte because everybody tired of that. So he needed a new tall blonde. You know his archetype he likes for women wrestling.
Dude, he just needs all the blondes. Just give them all the Vince. So,
but job, yeah, man, that was good. I like that with getting Lacey over and starting up the feud. It didn't make Becky look any weaker.
Not at all.
And it wasn't 50-50. It It was really good. Lacey got her shot in. And then Becky, of course, being the champ, ran down on Lacey up that ramp and just got that brawl popping, and it kind of left. I really like how they ended it with Lacey getting out of
the disarm her.
Yeah, the disarm her. Becky got to become better at naming these moves.
There.
But yeah, getting out of the disarm her, it made Becky look strong. And it showed that Lacey's up there. I'm looking more forward to seeing what I'm actually. This feud is the most exciting feud for me right now of the feuds coming out of WrestleMania.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do and how they're just going to build this up, how they're going to do it with the Superstar Shakeup, and it's fresh. It's something that we have not seen before, and. Let me just take this time out for this to address the internet wrestling community. You know, like everybody's always like, "Oh, I'm tired of Charlotte. Oh, I'm tired of the same matches. I'm tired of this." But then Lacey Evans shows up, and everybody's like, "Oh, she should be fighting Sasha instead. She should be fighting." Like, why can't we just take?
What do you want?
Yeah, I don't get it sometimes. Like, I understand we have our favorites, but dude, Sasha has had her time in the sun, man. Sasha's a 3-time women champ, 4-time women champ, like.
Okay,
she has not been underpushed. I think she's been.
We'll talk about that more when we get to the Alexa part. But you got to remember, everything Sasha has done, it's been like very short runs. Very short runs. Even though she's 3 times, but hell, have they probably added up to be one of Charlotte's runs.
I mean, but Charlotte's runs weren't necessarily long. Charlotte's had the title 8 different times.
But like
I
said,
like man, that's not short.
I feel you, but come on, like it's even been a running joke on WWE Network shows before with Alexa and Nia talking about it, because like her runs have been incredibly short. So while they do push her to the top, it's only for a little bit until they figure out what they want to do storyline wise, and then they kick her right off the top of the hill.
Hey man, that's again like she's always at the top of the card, at least for me. Even when she just got the tag team belts.
And like, look how short that was.
And it's to elevate somebody else. It's to make another team look good as well too. Like she's gonna look good regardless. That character's always gonna look good for me personally.
I feel you, but the problem isn't her, like, she puts over people. That's not the problem. The problem is, like, can I have a established run? That like, if they would have gave her one by now, one that went deep, at least, I don't know, 120. 120 is a decent amount of days. That's over 3 months. Like 120, I mean, let's say 4 to 5 months. You get, if she had at least one of those solid runs in like that, I don't think most of her problems would be happening, or her wanting to leave would be happening. It's just every time they put her on the top, it's only to position somebody else there later. It's never really focused on Sasha. Sasha gets it. And then, okay, now who can Sasha put over immediately?
And then to not go too deep down this rabbit hole, though, but everybody has their place and their spot on the card. There's plenty of Hall of Famers, really good, notable Hall of Famers, who haven't even had a singles title in the main event picture. Look at this. Like, look at, again, perfect example. Kofi Kingston went 11 years without even getting a title shot. Perfect example. One of the most iconic wrestlers of the Attitude Era and beforehand, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon has never had a world title run. Still perfect, still awesome. You don't necessarily need that title or need to
Let's
win
start back at the Kofi thing first. 11 years, and he's just now getting his second sniff at a title run.
But he's not quitting. He's not quitting. He's not like, oh, I'm out of here. Oh, I'm done.
You come on, dog. You stand somewhere 11 years before you get your title shot, or before you get what you know you're owed before you not leave? Like I couldn't imagine being, and this is me, not Kofi.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, if you love your company and your company doing, because it all depends on what Kofi thinks. If Kofi didn't
Truth.
think they weren't doing, if Kofi was thinking they were still doing right by him in his 11 years, that's one thing.
Yeah.
So that's why he wouldn't leave. Hey, they doing right by me. I know my thing's gonna come. But Sasha, on the other hand, hey, I done put in all this work. I'm one of your force horsewomen. I'm one of your best workhorses in the women's division. Nah, G, you can't keep treating me like this.
Dude, she's been on the main roster for like what, 4 years? 4
Yeah.
years? 3 years? 4 years? Dude, man, I understand her frustrations, and I can't be, again, just like you said, I can't put myself in her shoes or what she feels that she's worth or how she does it. But there's a role for everybody, and I feel like everybody's time will come.
It's too big for it to come. Like, there is one person said one good thing on the internet. Everybody can't be a star on that roster.
Everybody can't. Everybody cannot be a star.
But be that as it may, if you were going to choose a star, Sasha would be one of the top 5 choices. And that goes for red or blue brand.
And I can agree with that. But who, even after the Iconics won, they're not pushing the Iconics over, like, Sasha Banks is still better than both of them, even without belts. Sasha Banks is still better than Alexa Bliss.
Why you shouldn't have gave them the belt yet.
But I think we're going to agree to disagree on this one, because this could be a whole hour-long pod. But
yeah. So let's go. What you think was a high spot? Spot.
Well,
high or low from this week?
A high or a low from I like the Undertaker coming back, man. Undertaker coming back.
Interrupting Elias.
Interrupting Elias.
Dope. I really like Dean going out. Like, we know his contract is up at the end of this month, and like Bobby really wrecked boy. So like that only thing I didn't like. So the low part was why y'all bringing Renee into this?
Dude, I like that. I like that. Use somebody's wife, man. This is a throwback. Throwback to before there was all this political correctness.
No, it's not about political correctness. It's about why. Like,
add that stake to it.
But
if I say, man, I'm gonna beat you up in front of your girl, I'm gonna take care of your wife. We got to fight now.
That's not Bobby Lashley.
It adds that edge of realism to it.
But what I'm saying is that ain't even ever been a part of his character.
Maybe it is, and maybe he's just now bringing it out.
Even in his heel turn has always been, I'm the best. You will know I'm the best by beating you. He ain't never played psychological games. That's all I'm saying. Is it was weird. That's like if Leo Rush would have just said that would have been fine. Psychological games from a little man to get into opponent's head before Bobby takes him up out of here. But Bobby Lashley always been, I've come to dominate and collect. I will physically beat you because I don't need mind games. And it was just out of left field. I wasn't expecting it. Not saying it's bad. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't expecting it. Therefore, it kind of felt wrong to me, out of place.
Dude, talk your shit, Bobby. Talk it. Make you a top star, man.
You know I love Bobby.
That's another person they need to push to the moon, man. They need to keep him and Leo Rush together, push that team, have Bobby come out in his color contacts or whatever he is, like he did on WrestleMania, beat people's asses, talk shit, and just be an asshole. I love it, man. Dude, I don't got much else for, I mean, of course, the way that Raw ended, you know, it is what it is. It ended up in a tag team match with, you know, Kofi and Seth versus The Bar, which I thought was a low point. As far as they could have brought anybody out with the Raw after WrestleMania, you got to make this huge. You got to make introductions. You got to make new people come. Like, you got to make this exciting. So I didn't really like that. It just was kind of easy booking for me. But anything else for Raw from you?
No, I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. No, actually, one more thing. Now that Sasha and Bayley dropped the titles, you see Bayley had to go job to Alexa Bliss because Sasha didn't show up to the Raw, or I guess got sent home told to go home, cool off, and we'll make a decision going forward. But I didn't like how Bailey was just a tag team champion and already losing to somebody who ain't saw real ring competition in months. I just thought that was a bad booking.
It's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't like Bailey, first of all, as a character, but she is over. She's probably, again, like I said, top 3 most over people with the crowd. And Alexa Bliss is just getting ho-hum, very mixed reactions. You know, she gets all those little horny teenagers and old men that think she's cute to cheer for her, but everybody else, we can care less. But yeah, that's not the best booking. It's kind of lazy booking.
Yeah, so and that's all I wanted to say about it. That's the last thing I got on Raw. That was just a weird booking right there. I don't like if y'all wanted to get Alexa back in her title contention or even back up the card, there was probably a different way to do it. But hey, let's go on to SDLive after Mania. Let's get it. What you got first, bro? What's up,
man?
highs and lows?
Dude, one of my highs for this, man, is actually seeing Samoa Joe, man. And they look like they're building this Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting during the Superstar Shakeup is Braun coming over to SmackDown.
Yeah, so that's, and again, that creates something a little bit more fresh for me personally. And I want to see Samoa Joe, again, be cemented in that upper mid card or upper card heel, you know, where he has a championship or a championship, but can, you know, go back and forth between, you know, upper main event, you know, to mid card, upper main event to mid card, and seem seamless and seem credible in both ways. And I feel like with the Braun Strowman character, they've kind of, he lost a little bit of his steam, man. It went from us thinking that he was going to win the Universal title when we first started this podcast and him trying to beat Brock Lesnar and all this stuff to
he cooled off so bad since that would have been Crown Jewel.
Yep.
So he cooled off so bad since Crown Jewel, and it's just crazy, man. Like, I know he had an injury in there, but even after that, before and after the injury, like, he was already cooling off. And yeah, he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale on WrestleMania, but what does that mean?
Yep.
Nothing.
He won the Crown Jewel. He won the greatest Royal Rumble or whatever that shit is. He's won everything. So to me, it's just he's cooled off, and I think he's one of those people that can benefit from jumping over and getting something a little bit more fresh in a spot where we don't usually see him. You know, we get to see him versus, you know, variations of, you know, Drew McIntyre, and he was with the Dogs of War against the shit. Like, he's just been so not misused, but just, I don't know what his identity is anymore. I don't know what he is, and maybe he can figure it out over here on the Blue Brand when he comes from the Superstar Shakeup. What was your one high?
My one high. Well, it was the same high for 2 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
Becky versus Lacey again. Because this time Lacey really stuck her with the ladies right. And I just imagine that Vince pulled Becky aside after Monday and said, when a blonde hits you, you sell it, goddammit. Because that first one on Raw was kind of light. Like, you could see Becky got hit, you know, kind of sold it. But that second one on SmackDown,
that was brutal.
Becky down, she really sold it. Like, and it looked good. She really sold it. And I just imagine Vince tell her, when a blonde hits you, you sell it, goddammit. So
you sell it, goddammit.
But that was an even better scuffle and dust up on SmackDown between those two. That's what I'm saying. They're going to make this a really, really strong feud, and I'm going to enjoy it. I don't think Lacey comes out with one of the belts,
nope,
but it will cement her as a top threat for the women's division.
There we go, man. One of the things that surprised me this week was the Hardy Boys going over the Usos for the tag titles, and then Lars Sullivan coming down there and putting the boots to my guys, man. What'd you think about that?
So let's start with the title change. Like for me, I think that one. Well, first off, that's a match that the Usos always wanted. They looked
Mm-hmm.
up to the Hardy Boys and always wanted to be the Hardy Boys. So it was their dream match. And then I think it was punishment for, was it Jimmy or Jay that got arrested for disorderly conduct with the cops in Detroit or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was just punishment, making them drop the belts after that. But I think all in all, I think the guys didn't have a problem with it. They probably said, well, if we're gonna drop it, it better be to somebody we respect. So it is what it is, man. I
Mm-hmm.
like it, but then once again, Lars, just like Monday night, Lars coming in, making his presence felt, and putting both the red and blue brand on notice. No matter where I fall on the superstar shakeup, somebody getting dealt with.
Yeah, man. Lars is gonna be a beast, man. You can tell they're gonna push him properly, and I can't wait to see where he falls on the card. As far as all that goes, and dude, man, as far as SmackDown goes, I don't really got anything else for SmackDown, man. They had that 6-man tag with they had 2 6-man tags tonight. I feel
Yeah,
like it was
they have
Andrade and
Mustafa. They had Rusev Shinsuke Andrade versus Mustafa Ali and who Mustafa Ali.
Ricochet and Aleister Black.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good match, and I really did enjoy it.
That's for the wrestling. That's the wrestling part. Like that's where we get to go see good work, but not much story advancement. And then Drew McIntyre in the bar versus the New Day. I
Which
enjoyed it.
after the commercial break, Drew was nowhere to be found.
He dipped, bro. I just don't think they wanted. I think they're trying to keep Drew strong, so they don't want him to be anywhere near any losses. I think.
So he shouldn't have been in the match.
I agree 100%. I didn't say I
Because
agree with it.
And that's what I'm saying. They literally, it'd be different if he got to do some spots or some televised spots. I don't know what happened during the commercial break, but he didn't get to look strong at all. So there was no reason to put in that match.
Yeah, I didn't understand that piece of booking other than just having him on SmackDown. I don't get it. But Drew McIntyre is another person I think they're going to push to the moon, man. Like they need to.
Well, once again, he's similar to Braun Strowman, where he was hot like fire the last in previous months, and then just started cooling off. You would have thought he would have been getting his push way back in January.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, man.
The other thing about that match is shout out to Big E, wishing you a speedy recovery toward his meniscus, and it's just bad business because now the creatives got to scramble and see what they're going to do with Xavier Woods. Kofi, yeah, he's singles right now, but what is Xavier going to be doing?
Yeah, man, that's always hard when you have those new bird or free bird type 3-man tag team assemblies because somebody gets hurt, and if you got one person in the main picture, it is what it is. That's why I'm a huge fan of 4-man stables. Love 4-man stables. Again, what's that one on NXT with Adam Cole and them?
Undisputed Era. I knew you was going to say them.
Love Undisputed Era. Only because it's 4 of them. So if one of them gets injured, then you could just fill in the other one. Like I think that a stable always works the best when it's either, if it's an upper card person running it, it's like, Evolution, where you had Triple H, who was the world title guy. Then you had Randy Orton, who was the Intercontinental guy. And you had Batista and Ric Flair, who were the tag team guys. Whereas in DX, you had Triple H, who was the champion guy. You had X-Pac, who was, the in-betweener, mid-card, Intercontinental European guy. Then you had the New Age Outlaws, who were, the tag team people. Like, I think they always work the best when it's that way.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, all in all, I'll give Raw and SmackDown a combined score of a B+.
Hey man, we agreed completely. We didn't argue once. This
I
whole
mean, it
podcast.
wasn't much to argue
We
about
didn't
this
argue.
time. I mean, I was gonna get into the edgehead shit, but you know what? I'm just gonna leave it for next time when we got more time.
I'm gonna let their work speak for themselves, man. You're gonna start calling them Ryder and Hawkins again.
Nah, I'm good.
But bro, I don't got nothing else for him. What you got for him?
I ain't got nothing else for it, so you know what it is. This has been your boys, No Jobbers Allowed, with another podcast for WrestleMania, Raw After Mania, and